Probably one of the most interesting topics, and I'm privileged to have noted cyber advocate Prashant Mali. Has a master's in computer science, master's in law. I think he has solved many, you can regularly see him on television also. I think you're going to be stumped about the knowledge of the cyber law and probably unknown facets of the cyber law. If I may welcome Advocate Prashant Mali on the stage, please.
Good evening, friends. Now, Srikanth has restricted me to only talk about 9 things, while my law has 90 sections. So I'm going to restrict myself to some important sections. But I normally start with addressing the crowd by saying 90% of crowd sitting before me, audience sitting before me, are cyber criminals. Now you would like to know how, right? So you all have MP3 songs in your mobile phone which you never purchased? Yes or no? So many people are agreeing to it. So that means I have some police officers outside, and because section 66 says any person who downloads the data without permission of the owner, only up to 3 years of imprisonment and only 5 lakhs of penalty. And it's a cognizable offense. You know what is cognizable offense? That means even an informant can inform and suo motu police can arrest you. You know, see how dangerous things you are carrying in your mobile phones. Okay. I may not go to your dangerous things which you actually carry in your mobile phones, but I'll restrict to 9 things, because those dangers are not covered here as of now. Anyway, let me start. So the first thing, many a times you carry your pen drives or mobile phones which are ultra ready to get copied. Either you want to put it somewhere and get the bit of all kind of data whichever is before you. So the moment you put your pen drive or CD or DVD into somebody's computer and copy it, now it did not say that you have taken a permission. Because in India, we feel it is not great morality to ask somebody to copy the data, So we feel it's our culture, copy kar lene ka. Because we feel original to rakha hai na. To copy karne mein kya problem hai na. So that amounts to data theft. I have put the whole definition for your so that you don't take me on my prima facie whatever I am saying, right? So anybody who downloads or copies or extracts data. So I'm going to elaborate this a bit. So he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine which may extend to 5 lakhs, or both. Section 43B, read with section 66. It's cognizable offense. Silver line is, it is a bailable offense. So you can get a bail. But many a times what happens is, when a white collar person with a white collar crime is caught by a khaki collar police, he always feels that because you have done some white collar crime, you should not be left. There could be something more. And by my experience, criminals don't pay them more. White collars pay them more. Ijjat. So you can pay anything and everything by selling anything, whatever you have in your house. So they know that white bakra has come. So you will be very careful on this. So I just now said you download .mp3, .mp4 songs from websites distributing free songs or video. So I had given you your favorite website called songs.pk. Now I have this peculiarity that why don't you ever think Pakistan, which actually doesn't make its own needles, but they sell or they give you free our Bollywood songs. What is the intent of doing this? Have you ever thought, you all are InfoSec people, every single MP3 file comes infested with a Trojan pre-planted by ISI. So you have to be very careful when you're downloading such songs. Now imagine if you all your mobile phones have .pk files within you, that means you are carrying an infested cell phones at disposal of vested interest across the border. Please be very careful. Now this becomes more serious when you allow. I have seen big organization which I consult, their CIO says MP3 गाना निकालेगा तो इनका motivation level कम होता है. कहाँ से? From your corporate computers. They don't want to remove. You imagine MP3 songs which are not purchased, and you do remove, motivation is less because after lunch नहीं तो क्या करेगा staff? They're thinking. So when you're thinking about your staff, what they will do after lunch, okay, think about your organization also. What has it brought to you? Okay, I know many organizations have strict, stringent rules about MP3, MP4 or piracy, but then they coolly forget about when it comes to staff motivation and blah blah, no, HR. So that was second thing which I was telling you. Third thing, now see in India, I think everybody must be aware, India has 3 national keys. I keep telling every time, Control A, Control C and Control V. These are India's national keys, Our kids learn computer little later, they learn these national keys before. 4th standard, malum ho jata hai. And from 4th standard, without any guilt in the mind, very innocently, whatever we see good, we think it is our. Control A, Control C, maro copy. And if we don't get that way, then print screen, sida. Or if that is not possible, now you have mobile cameras in our phone, in a pocket, photo nikal lo. Okay? So what are we doing? We are actually extracting data as per the definition what you saw just now of section 43B. So when you cut the copy and then paste the data information from any website without prior permission of the website owner for any financial gain. So I've written in depth. So you're doing some kind of Ph.D. research or some kind of educational aspect where you're not earning something, then it doesn't amount to data theft. You should know that. There's a proviso there. And provided you give him his reference that you have taken it from some website. For education purposes only. India is very kind for that. But not when you are making money out of it. Okay. So whenever there are financial gains, I'm sorry, 43B, read with 66, only 3 years. And only 5 lakhs. Going further. Now, just now, I had taken a bail of a CEO of an HRMS company CEO. Why? Because he had a staff, lady staff, who had joined him, leaving her previous employee. She had a tiff there, came back, joined here. She did forward some of the client data when she was leaving that earlier job. In India we feel it is our gratuity. We should transfer it. अपना हक है वो. हमने काम किया, हमने client मिला है, लेके जाओ. So when you do this amounts to data theft. What happened is, the earlier guy was the competitor of this guy. He launched a police complaint under section 43B, read with 66, data theft, not only on the girl, but also on the CEO, because then it increases the effect. And the girl left this organization also, went to Belgaum, got married. And the CEO has taken anticipatory bail, and because of anticipatory bails, one of the conditions is you have to attend police station every week for investigation purposes. Ends up in attending every Sunday to Sunday police station. Okay, so this is the ground scenario what you face. Now we had a client here, a very good chemical company. There was an employee who was working for 12 years. He was a very workaholic kind of guy, but very less into IT. Because he was irritating using this BlackBerry interface, coming to him, forward it to your Google account, Gmail account. So he can access that when he's sitting in his house and work from house. One fine day he gets a new boss, and that new boss and this guy do not gel well. So new boss wanted to get rid of him. He finds out that he had forwarded all the mails. He hires us and says, sir, these people are doing data theft on company. We did an investigation, we found out actually this was happening. We filed a case, police case. Police found out that it was actually forwarded and all sensitive data was gone on Gmail ID. That man was charge sheeted and removed from the organization. Imagine, this is used for as a corporate settlement tool also. So you have to be aware, what are you accessing on your internet and what is getting logged on your firewall. You know, many times I have seen IT managers sitting with the firewall log report when your PDR is done, performance development review. And when you want big rating or big raise, then they show you. All this you are seeing all the time in the evening. Do you want PDR raise? So that can be used for your negotiation purpose also. You will be very careful on this. When you're forwarding mails from one mail to another mail, which is not authorized by corporate department in writing, mind it, your boss would give you permission verbally. Please take it in writing because it amounts to crime. And crime doesn't follow corporate policies, you know, what is written in the rule book. It only follows sections. Then you have this identity theft crime. You know, whenever we want to take some revenge, we immediately go and make one email ID or we make one Facebook profile and start working on this, okay, and start taking revenge out of it. So what it amounts to a crime under section 66C of the IT Act, which is talking about identity theft. So if you're choosing to buy anyone's identity, see, identity theft in India is epidemic. AmitabhBachchan.com is not with Amitabh Bachchan, you know that, no? RithikRoshan.com is also not with Hrithik Roshan, somebody else is there. But these are film stars, they are okay with it. This amounts to cyber squatting. But then their identities are constantly taken, you know, photographs are taken. There could be some ugly fellow sitting in some rural place and he has a profile with Hrithik Roshan's photograph and he chats with a beautiful girl and she always feels like he must be looking like Hrithik Roshan, and then the whole story starts, and then we have hundreds, rather thousands of cases across the country. Just extemporary, it came to mind. Yesterday I met the commissioner for railways here in Mumbai. He was telling me mobile phones theft per day only in Central and Western Railway, officially and unofficially, there are 1,000 mobiles under theft daily. There is a whole racket which refurbishes the mobile and sends it across. You imagine so much amount of crime where it only happens in railways. You know, our railway police is only guiding those railway stations and those tracks. Okay, so such kind of crimes have increased a hell lot of. Now you all carry your pen drives in your pocket many of the time, and all your friends and foes are there on your pen drive, right? Your viruses and worms. If you don't carry your immediate family, your children will carry those, your brothers, sisters will carry those. So spreading of computer virus is also a crime under section 66, only 3 years and 5 lakhs of punishment under 43C. So you insert a pen drive in somebody's computer and that virus or worm spreads into his computer and he files a case, you are in because it's a cognizable offense. Okay. He can go to the adjudicating officer and say, I was having a Ph.D. thesis in that and I was about to submit. I was about to get a patent for which I was going to earn some 50 crores. So my loss is 50 crores. He can go to the adjudicating officer. Mr. Rajesh Agarwal right now is Maharashtra's adjudicating officer. He must be there in the morning here. 50 crores. Okay. So up to 5 crores you can go to Rajesh Agarwal or you can go to the civil court, okay, for remedies. Okay. So that can happen. So when you are forwarding, you're inserting your pen drive or when you're passing your data, if your websites, corporates are sitting here, so I want to tell you if your website is doing this, if your website catches a worm and then people who are visiting the worm spreads to other organization section, this section attracts to you. Okay, so be very careful, this is a legal risk to organizations. So when you're having your antivirus policy, please mark this as a legal risk. Then section 43D, this talks about damages or causes to be damaged any computer. Now what do you mean by damages? Somebody actually damaging, vandalism to your computer system, to your network. Okay, you crash somebody's hard disk. I have shown you this photograph, but this is physical crash. It could be your software crash also. So any kind of crash you do to your hard disk, it is covered under IT Act under section 43D. Okay, so the larger interpretation. 8th is, if you delete files or folders, same section will apply, or modify the contents of files, folders for somebody's computer, same section would apply. So when you actually, say I have not purposefully covered one section which is called hacking in in our current year. Because the moment I say cyber crime or cyber law, everybody feels only one crime, that is hacking. Now let me make you aware, IT Act starts the first section with hacking, section 43A. It says anybody who accesses or secures access to a computer. The larger interpretation says if you take somebody's mobile phone in your hand, it is securing access to the mobile phone. And audience would agree with me, mobile phone is a computer or a communication device as defined by law. So when you take a mobile phone in the hand, you amount to hacking as per the law. Okay, so next time when you're taking your wife's phone, girlfriend's phone, or wife's taking husband's phone, please be aware. Okay, when the relation is good, everything is fine. I get a lot of divorce matters which are settled by IT evidences, emails, chats, photographs. So be aware what kind of evidences you are carrying in your pockets. Okay, so fingerprint is not the, because I have seen fingerprints when husbands are sleeping being used on their phones. Okay, and data been stolen. So have nice security, because this is also a partly security conference. So better security is needed, need of the hour to save your relationships also. Because WhatsApp has been a bigger damaging factor in your relationships, because giving explanations becomes difficult. So if you delete files or folders or modify contents of files or folders from someone's computer or obviously mobile phone, imagine, okay? So please think twice, what are you deleting? What are you editing? 43G talks about source code theft. I've purposefully kept it to the last. Big organizations definitely have this problem of source code theft, source code alteration, source code modification. Either your older staff or the ex-staff will take away the code. I had got a case when one of the staff, just for a revenge, it was a medical company, Medico software company, just for a revenge purpose, what he did was, the whole code for the bread and butter software which they were selling, he had put it on codeguru.com. He just copy pasted the whole code and put it on codeguru.com and various websites. You know what happened? He never stole it. He just pasted it. And then what? After 6 months, he formed his own company, downloading it from codeguru.com. So when a case was filed against him, he said, I got it from codeguru.com. I never uploaded it. And they never had any policy of storing electronic evidence when a staff is resigned or staff has been given notice, which needs to be an addition to your ISO 27000 policies, whatever you have. So that was a huge problem there and they had a huge loss. So you have to be very careful how you're looking to your source code, how source code has been stored, how it gets copied. Okay, so this was one incident where he actually copied. Now, I'll just quote Rajesh Agarwal, who was here in the morning, adjudicating officer. Couple of days before, he was telling me a incident. He had a case where the CEO of a company, the owner of a company had put case on this ex-staff, okay, for some crores of rupees, that he has taken code from me. The staff comes with the lawyer. The lawyer argues in the normal legal parlance, but the staff gets bugged, and then slowly he confesses to the Rajesh Agarwal, the judge, saying, sir, ये जो सॉफ्टवेयर है, इनका भी खुद का नहीं है, मैंने इनके लिए चोरी किया था. तो इनका चोरी किया हुआ सॉफ्टवेयर मैं चोरी किया तो क्या होगा? Okay, so these stories are very common in Indian parlance, but now it has come on record. If such thing comes on record, then you know how Indians are known across the world, because the whole world doesn't share technology with Indians, because they know once we show them also, they can make replicated. So then we don't have any control over the technology which we made. And that could be vastly Indianized. Okay. So, but these are the different, small 9 things which I want to tell. The 9th thing is, if you are selling someone software program, source code, changing or deleting it, okay, or you are trying to upload, you don't take away the code, or upload it to any website or email while leaving your company. You forward it, you forward your code programs, software programs. This amounts to source code theft, which is covered under 43G, read with 66. Now, just for closing remarks, now suppose you are infested with some kind of cyber crime. you got two remedies. One, you go to the nearest police station and file a police complaint. But that police complaint is a criminal remedy. But will it give you the damages or compensation? No. Then there's a second remedy under section 45. Adjudicating officer is appointed. We are blessed that we have an active adjudicating officer in Maharashtra, state of Maharashtra. You can file a case with the help of a lawyer, a technical lawyer, with him and ask for compensation. So simultaneously you have what is called as criminal case, where the guy can be caught, he needs to take a bail, he will be imprisoned, blah, blah, for next 2, 3, 5 years. And you can get a compensation. Now this compensation part, the adjudicating officer has to settle within 6 months. So this is a faster remedy here. Because criminal remedy lies before criminal courts. Criminal courts, they have been lock jammed by so many amount of cases. So it's very complicated thing which we go do day in, day out in various courts across the country. I keep arguing. So you got two remedies. So now there are umpteen amount of legal risk which I had told, at least in my short 9 things which you don't know about cyber law, which I tried to bring to your light. But there are a whole lot of things, and patient reading can actually bring you in a lot of legal risk which you can mark in your risk assessment of your company when what you do. So I thank you for listening to me patiently. I'm on time? Questions? Yeah. My coordinates are there on the screen. Anything can type
Hi,
my name.
Prashant. I'm from Amarshad Mangaldas, not a lawyer, from IT side. Okay. See, in our organization, we know that how the data is critical and the confidential data of the client.
Take it near.
Okay. So, like we have kept a border for the lawyers not to take any data from either from the web or email or endpoint. So we have a complete 24/7 monitoring, all best technology we are using. Still, if the user who is the author of the document, who has created a draft and transactions document and all that, if they try to theft or try to take in some other